So, hello, wonderful to have you with us, Robert Dilts.
Thank you, Magnus. It's great to be with you. I'm looking forward to this chat together.
Yeah, and you're coming to Sweden, and I think that's really great. And
Finally, again, yes,
yes,
it's been
again,
too long. Finally,
yeah, too long. And you're doing a 3-day workshop
yeah,
on something called Generative Consulting.
yes.
And I'm curious, why would you attend the 3-day workshop in something called Generative Consulting?
So, yeah. Well, first of all, obviously, the program is about improving what we do as a consultant. So, as a consultant, what are some ways that we can actually support our clients? And the idea of generative, probably the best way to explain generative is creative. And in these days where we know that kind of everything has been thrown into change,
Yeah.
we can't just keep doing what we've been doing before.
No.
So, there's that old idea that, if you always do what you've always done, you'll just get what you always got, except not in the times we've been through. We can't even do what we used to do. So first of all, generative consulting is about doing things in new ways. And how do we help our clients? What are going to be the ways that we help our clients to manage these changing times?
Yep.
And we're looking, basically, each day is going to be organized around a different sort of consulting challenge or an organizational challenge about growth. So how do we adapt in ways that we can grow? About crises. I mean, clearly, we've been facing lots of different types of crises in these past years, a couple of years especially. And then transition. When we are working with companies, they're going to be in different stages. Sometimes they might even be in overlapping stages.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And so what we really want to do is to say, so generative consulting targets these three areas because we say that is where creativity and innovation is going to be most necessary. And that's where, honestly, traditional consulting methods don't really give you as much of an advantage because they're kind of based more on using existing knowledge than on creating something new. And that's what generative means, creating something new. So that would be a main reason to come, to learn methods, we're going to be going over some methods, some competencies and models that help us to bring change in these challenging times.
And if you could give example of methods that you're going to learn when you're on the program, what would that be? Just an example.
Sure. Well, first of all, the basic process of generative consulting is organized what we call the diamond model. And diamond is an acronym for a series of steps. So each of those letters stands for a step. So the D is about defining a present state. The I is about setting an intention for where the change needs to take place. The A is for action planning. So once we've figured out what's going on, where do we want to go? We need to plan the actions. Then the M is about moving into action. And the O of diamond is about, well, obstacles are going to come. And so there's going to be a lot of obstacles, sometimes anticipated, sometimes not. And so we need to be able to transform those obstacles. And then the final part, this D, is about basically, defining practices that are going to deepen the change. And so these are the kinds of steps that we're going to be taking. And each of these will be looking at certain kinds of tools that help us. One of the keys, I would say, that really distinguishes methodologically generative consulting from traditional consulting. Traditional consulting tends to focus mostly on what we would call kind of left brain, verbal, numbers, facts, spreadsheets. Whereas to be generative, we have to focus on other types of intelligences. We certainly do not abandon those basics. There's a lot of good, strong, strategic, rational parts there, but we're using multiple intelligences. We use metaphors. We use visual images. We actually use a lot of what we call somatic modeling, using our body as a way to help understand what's going on, what needs to change, what needs to happen. And then what we do is we're supporting these steps in this methodology with 9 competences. And then, by the way, these 9 competences are not only just valuable for generative coaching, I think consulting, they're valuable for consulting, all types of consulting.
Yeah.
And there are things like, relational skills, like pattern detection skills, like presentation skills, facilitation skills, communication skills. So we'll be showing how we can be developing those skill sets as we are going through those steps of a consulting process.
Well, sounds super interesting. I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to be there listening and really, really curious. And to end off, if you're interested, please check out our webpage, Coach to Coach. You'll find much more information there, more details and dates and times and everything. And I'm really looking forward to having here on site in Sweden, Robert.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much so far. See you soon.
Welcome. Yes, definitely.